We're back for our daily MLB Best Bets here for May 9th. Every team in the MLB plays today, and we've been on fire recently, not just with our MLB Best Bets, but with our NBA predictions and Best Bets as well. Everything's been going really well recently here on the channel, and let's keep that going here for this weekend. Now, before we get into the Best Bets, folks, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel. Again, later today, we will have our NBA predictions and Best Bets. My goodness, we've been on fire in the NBA all postseason long. Today we get Pacers and Cavs from Indianapolis, and also Thunder and Nuggets from Denver, Colorado. Also on Greedo Plays MMA this week, our UFC 315 predictions. Bilal Remember the Name Muhammad takes on Jack Della Maddalena, and for the PFL, it is Bruno Miranda taking on Paul Hughes in the main event from Belfast, Ireland. Make sure to check out both those videos linked in the description down below, and go subscribe to Greedo Plays MMA as well while you're at it. Okay, on to the first of our 5 best bets today in the MLB. We're on, I think, a 4-day or a 5-day streak of hitting on every single nerfy. So let's do it again today. We're going to kick off the day with a no run scored in the first inning at Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. The Detroit Tigers take on the Texas Rangers. We're taking the nerfy for this game. For a couple reasons I'm taking this. One, Comerica Park, pitcher-friendly park. Really pitcher-friendly. It's hard to hit balls out. Yes, I guess right field is the exception to that, and that's where we could get a little bit concerned with the potential Corey Seager home run. But then I look at the pitching matchup, and Tarek Skubal's pitching. Arguably the best pitcher in the entire league. Skubal at the 2.21 ERA. It's hard to put any runs together against the 28-year-old, let alone one in the first inning. And the way the Rangers have been hitting, they've been very off and on. I'm not going to lie to you. They'll have their nights where they're great, and they will also have their nights where they can't get anything going. But I don't think they're going to be able to score in the first inning against a pitcher of Skubal's level. We know how good the lefty is. Cy Young winner last season. He is excellent out there, and especially against the top of this Rangers lineup. A Rangers team that's coming off of a shutout loss in their last game to the Boston Red Sox. It's just a lineup that has been struggling. And of course, how can I forget Corey Seager is still out with injury. So yeah, scratch that thing I said earlier. Anyways, Seager I think should be back soon though, right? But in a normal situation, right, that's the only, outcome that would really hurt us. Even better now, I mean, I guess Wyatt Langford, but again, it's harder to hit a home run in left field at Comerica than it is to right. Just look at the top of this Rangers lineup. And obviously, again, the reason that the line's at -130 and not -150 is not because of the matchup between Skubal and the Rangers hitters. It's because of the flip side, obviously. It's Patrick Corbin and what's coming back at him with the Tigers. But I'll get to that in a second. With the Rangers, man, I mean, Josh Smith is good. Wyatt Langford's great. Beyond those two guys, it's a mess. Jock Peterson still bats in the 3. I don't know if he's going to bat that high against a lefty and Skubal, but Jock bats 132 this year. Adolis Garcia is not very good. He's batting 230. Again, he'll have his nights, but not reliable. Semion's still bad, 170. They bring up Evan Carter from AAA. He's batting 154 so far in the season. There's just not many opportunities in which Texas can score against Tarek Skubal. I just don't think that's going to happen. I think the top half of the inning will be a piece of cake. Now, the bottom half of the inning is where it does get a little tricky. The Detroit Tigers are great, right? They're the best team in the American League. They're now 12 games over 500. They swept the Colorado Rockies in Denver like we expected. I didn't make it an official play yesterday, but I did say, just parlay both of the Tigers games against the Rockies, and they'll probably win both, and they did. Guys, the Rockies are 6-31. That's crazy. Of course, one of their 6 wins is the Washington Nationals. Damn it, dude. Just so annoying. But anyways, the Tigers are good, right? They won both their games yesterday against Colorado, both by, 10 runs in the second game, 8 runs in the first game. They put up double digits, right? 11-1's the score of the second game, 10-2's the victory for the Tigers in the first game. This team's good, but I think, again, they even in Colorado, right, the nerfy hit in one of those 2 games yesterday. It was in the first one where they scored. The second game, they did not score in the first inning, right? I can't tell you how much I like the Tigers pitching staff. They're great. I don't know if they're going to win the American League this year. I kind of want them to. Again, it's still May, I understand, but this team's just amazing, and their pitching staff's really good. If they go buy some bats, I know, again, their lineup's been good, but if they get even more bats, they're going to be nasty. Now, for this specific nerfy, obviously, again, it's AJ Hinch baseball. He's going to platoon all of his guys, so look for a Justin Henry Malloy. I don't know why I said Jared. Justin Henry Malloy at the top of the lineup. Look for, obviously, Gleyber Torres and whatnot. Torque's probably going to be batting higher than Riley Green because of Patrick Corbin on the mound. But, guys, Patrick Corbin's actually been really good this year. which just annoys me as a Nats fan, obviously, right? I have to endure 6 years of this, actually 5 years of this guy not being very good. I will always cherish 2019, and I will never truly hate Patrick Corbin because of 2019. We do not win the World Series without this guy. But since then, my goodness, he was so abysmal, and now he's in Texas, and he's a very quality starter. Guys, he might be the best guy right now in this Rangers rotation, other than Eovaldi, obviously. I mean, arguably, you can say that. No, I can't DeGrom. Yeah, that's a joke. But he's number 3. Just crazy. He's been better than Jack Leiter this season by far. It's just insane. Corbin with a 3.28 ERA. He hasn't had a start in over 4 appearances where he hasn't given up more than 2 runs. Corbin's been very serviceable, and in the first inning, Corbin's been pretty good too. So I look at the matchup and I say, okay, Corbin pitches well early. He does fall off as the start continues, and yeah, the long ball's kind of an issue, but we're playing in Detroit. And I look at Tarik Skubal on the other side. I don't expect him to give up a run, so I'm going to take the 2 lefties to get it done for us early in the day. Let's keep the nerfy streak going. Minus 130 here in Detroit. Patrick Corbin, Tarik Skubal. Let's do it. Let's get the nerfy to kick off the day between the Tigers and the Texas Rangers. We move on to our second best bet of the video. We move to our Washington Nationals best bet of the day, and that's going to be Washington Nationals money line. It is rare the Nationals are favorites to win a baseball game. Today is one of those days. The game is on Apple TV today, so that means I'm going to have to load up Stream East and watch this game tomorrow. That's just so dumb. Like, who came up with this Apple TV nonsense? And like, okay, guys, I have an iPhone, but I can't watch the game. I paid how much money for this damn thing? That sounded so boomer. Oh my goodness. And oh man, I sound like an old head saying this, but like, I paid how much money for this iPhone, and I don't get I can't even watch the Washington Nationals. Sounds like a joke. I can't watch the Nationals and Cardinals on a Friday night because I don't pay, $15 a month for Apple TV? Oh, it's such a joke. Anyways, we're taking the Nationals today. I'll find a way to watch this illegally. The Cardinals have lost 5 games in a row. Won 5 games in a row, which is awesome. They're due for some regression, I think. And I look at the pitching matchups in this series, and I know we're picking just today's game right now, but there's a lot of favorable matchups in this series for the Washington Nationals. They missed Sonny Gray, which right away is, great, because Sonny Gray's obviously very good, had a shutout or pitched, I think it was, 7 shutout innings on Wednesday against the Pittsburgh Pirates. So it's going to be Fedde and Parker today. Saturday will be Payante and Williams. Oh, God. And then Miles Michaelis, Mackenzie Gore go on Sunday. The Nationals should win 2 of 3 here. Again, I'm at the point of the year where, I'm really excited for this team. I am, but it's just, we're 4 games under 500, which honestly is not horrible. This time last year, we were over 500, but it is what it is, by 1 game. The only time we were ever over 500 last season. It's just, I don't love the Nationals bullpen. But Mitchell Parker's been pretty good. His last couple starts haven't been great, but guys, I just don't think the Cardinals are still that great. I don't know. I think Nolan Arenado, if he plays today, we'll see. He was scratched from Wednesday's game due to back spasms. He's not on the IR or IL, so maybe Arenado plays today. I don't know. But I do think the Nationals have a better squad than St. Louis, and in this spot, I do like Mitchell Parker against this Cardinals lineup, who sure have been on fire recently, but I think the Nationals are able to get them here, and Washington is so much better at home than they are on the road. Yeah, the Cleveland series didn't go their way entirely, but, if we had a bullpen, we would have won that series. But beyond the bullpen, CJ Abrams needs to be extended right now. I mean, his contract, he's still got a couple more years, and Mackenzie Gore needs to be extended as well, but CJ Abrams is not a Scott Boras client. He's not going to hold us out for money like Bryce, like Juan, like all of these guys. I mean, CJ, I don't know who his management team is, I'm going to be honest with you, but he should be willing to sign this extension. And I would hope long-term, by the way, James Wood would sign that extension too, because he's from that DC, Maryland area. I don't know. We'll see about him. But I think Abrams should be a guy we should be able to re-sign, as long as he's still not mad about, the Nats sending him down to AAA for the final 2 games last season because he was in the casino in Chicago. I think Abrams should re-sign with this team. Again, we say this all the time. It's all up to Mark Lerner. It's all up to Mark Lerner. If he's willing to spend some money, yeah, you can probably keep Abrams around, because it feels like every team in the majors locked down their young talent. Why can't we be like the Braves and just sign all of our young guys to cheap deals? Let's sign Abrams now. He's 24. He's batting 286 this season, 4 home runs. He's been excellent, 14 RBI, and he was hurt for basically, 4th of the season or 1/3 of the season right now. We need to re-sign Abrams, please. But I think the Nationals win today, -115. Eric Fedde on the mound for St. Louis. I think he's going to see ghosts pitching in DC today. And also, guys, Fedde's been bad in his last couple starts. Against Milwaukee, goes 5 2/3 innings, 10 hits, 7 runs. The Mets start that he had, 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, right? Fedde hasn't been good recently. Obviously, free agency pickup for St. Louis, and I think the Cardinals have lost every Fedde start except for their last one against the Mets, where they did not win because of Fedde, but they just came back and got it. At least in the last month, if I'm not mistaken. And yes, Fedde, I think, is walking into his house of horrors, which is not Spark. He was never the greatest for us, and I think we kind of bomb him here tonight. So I'm taking Nationals money line. If you want to skip to the next best bet, just give me like a minute here. I do, just for my own sake, want to talk about the Nats prospects here. Just really quickly, there are 3 guys that I think, and again, we talk about the Nationals every single day, so you're going to hear these names soon, I think. But there's 3 guys who I think we got to keep an eye on right now in the Nationals farm system. I'm talking about Brady House, I'm talking about Dalen Lyle, and I'm talking about Robert Hassel III. I don't know who goes off this team for these guys. I mean, off the top of my head, obviously, Josh Bell is a guy who would definitely have to get DFA'd. I'm just going to be honest with you. Again, love the guy as a person, but I just don't know where he fits. Again, they'll make that move when it needs to happen. Maybe, injury will force these moves. First off, Brady House. I think the thing with Brady House, who right now is betting 290 in AAA Rochester, 347 OBP, 828 OPS, 5 home runs, 18 RBI. He's been great. Former first-round pick for the Nationals in 2021. The only problem with Brady House is his strikeouts. He does strike out quite a bit, but I think he is very close to being in the major leagues. He's 21 years of age. Watch out for Brady House. He's phenomenal. Probably going to play third for the squad. As much as I like Jose Tena and Ahmed Rosario at times, Brady House is the guy there. And then we get into the 2 outfielders, right? I don't know what the long-term outlook is for both Dalen Lyle and Robert Hassel III. Obviously, it's likely, yes, a Jacob Young move, but can we confidently, guys say that Lyle or Hassel are going to be better than Jacob Young? I know everyone gives Jacob Young a lot of hate, but he's a plus outfielder in the field, obviously, and slowly but surely, last week has actually been really good for Jacob Young hitting-wise. I like Lyle a lot, right? So far in the minor leagues between AA Harrisburg and AAA Rochester, he's batting 331, 885 OPS, 2 home runs, 14 RBI. He's got great speed, and Robert Hassel, had a shaky start to the year, but now Hassel's batting 301, OPS is 738, 2 home runs, 16 RBI, by far his best year in the minors since he was in the San Diego farm system. But again, my question with that is, where do these guys go eventually? What room are we going to make in the outfield for these guys? We're not making James Wood the DH yet, permanently. We have Alex Call. We got Jacob Young. Again, which just leads me back to my point. The bullpen's just the problem with this team. We've got guys. Oh, God. Nats money line today, -115. Had to get that off my chest. I need to talk about the prospects a little bit. Anyways, let's go on to our next one, our best player prop of the day. We're going Rafael Devers over hits, runs, and RBI. You might be thinking, oh, okay, what's the matchup today, right? Because this is what I've gone to a lot with player props. Because it makes sense, right? You look at the historical numbers between whatever hitter you want versus the pitcher on the mound. There is none of that today. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. There's absolutely none of that. The Red Sox are in Kansas City today to take on the Kansas City Royals. My fault yesterday for the White Sox play. That was abysmal. I'm watching that game, and it's just like, nothing's going our way. The Royals won 10-0, if I'm not mistaken. I turned it off in the 5th inning. Anyways, we're going back to KC. So Michael Lorenzen's the pitcher today for the Royals. He's never faced off against Rafael Devers. Lorenzen's a righty, so there's that, righty-lefty. The only backing I have for you with this play, and we've only done this once this season. We did this with Vladdy Guerrero when he signed the big extension and he was back home for the first time, so he took his over and he hit. I'm taking Rafael Devers because he's complaining about not wanting to play first base. Now, I understand where Devers is coming from. He wants to be the third baseman of this team. He likes playing third base. That's fair. Does he know first base is literally the easiest position to play in baseball? Other than DH? Again, no position's easy, but I never played in the infield. Okay, I'll just be honest. I was perfectly fine playing the outfield. But first base seemed a lot easier than center. I'm gonna say, when I was playing, you're playing in the outfield, you're in center field, you're running around the entire game. First base, you stand there and sure, picking the ball is hard, obviously. Picking a baseball is hard, but it's I'd rather play first in the hot corner, Playing third base sucks. Ball comes at you quick. You got to make the long throw after. Screw that. probably the least, I mean, for me, is probably the position I wanted to play least in the infield. Again, I'm talking to like I'm an unk at this point, reminiscing about the good old days. But anyways, right? I just don't understand that with Devers. I get it, you want to play third, but here you go. You know, prove them wrong, man. Here you go. Here's your opportunity. You complain? All right. Go put a ball in the seats today. All right? Over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI for Rafi Devers. Now, the thing is, Rafi Devers has actually been hitting fairly well recently, right? He had those huge struggles to start the season, and everyone was like, oh, what's wrong with Devers? He's got the average up to 255. He's actually been pretty good. Devers in his last game, yesterday, had a home run against, the Rangers, 2 RBI. Let's keep that going, pal. Let's prove let's prove the management wrong. Let's prove our coaches wrong, pal. Stick it in the face of Alex Bregman. Pause. Not like that. You're the real third baseman. Like, I don't know. I feel like this is a motivation thing. Again, maybe kind of a silly pick, not going to lie. But I think, again, it's a good matchup for him as well. Lorenzen doesn't throw that hard. Well, it's just Lorenzen, he's very hittable. This is a guy in his last start, right? Lorenzen, in a game that the Royals actually won. That was the million solo home run game against the Baltimore Orioles. But Lorenzen pitched 4 2/3, gave up 7 hits, 5 runs, and 4 home runs, right? He's a very hittable pitcher, right? Look at the Rockies start, gives up 5 hits. In Detroit, 7 hits, 4 runs. Cleveland, 7 hits, 3 runs. Like, Lorenzen, you're able to mash him, and I think Devers should be able to do the same. I'm going to take Rafael Devers today over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI. He's in the midst of a really good lineup, and he's guaranteed 9 at-bats today since the Red Sox are on the road in Kansas City, or 9 innings, obviously, hopefully more at-bats. I'm taking Rafael Devers here on the over in KC. Let's move on now to our 4th best bet of the video as we move to our money lines here. First money line of 2, the Philadelphia Phillies in Cleveland against the Cleveland Guardians. I thought this game was actually after the Red Sox-Royals game, but it's before. Whoops. We'll do it now. I'm taking the Phillies to beat Cleveland, right? So yesterday, the Phillies got our back. And now, I don't like the Phillies. I have made that very clear. I do like Bryce Harper still. I still cheer for Kyle Schwarber. I still cheer for Trey Turner when they're not playing the Washington Nationals. I still hope the Phillies lose every single game they play, but I do appreciate these guys. I said it yesterday, I think the Phillies are going to win the National League East. I know, again, I made a big point of saying, oh, they should just sell. All right, I was wrong. Okay, I was wrong. I'd much rather watch the Phillies win than the Mets. I'm not going to lie. Like, it makes me happy when the New York Mets lose baseball games. It just does. Anyways, God, the Nats are 7 games back of the Mets still. Anyways, I'm the Phillies winning Cleveland today. Guys, the Phils sweep the Rays. Yesterday, a very good victory for them, right? Would they come through for us? I thought the game was over. They were down 5-1. Bryson Stott hits a 3-run home run in the 9th inning, right? Max Kepler thought he had a base knock. Regardless, it scores Rojas, who was only on because Kyle Schwarber had a single earlier in the inning. Rojas advances due to the missed throw by Fairbanks, the pickoff to first. Anyways, Phillies tied up, sent into extras. Brandon Marsh, first pitch he sees in extra innings, doubles into the gap. Trey Turner knocks another run in. Ultimately, the Phillies win 7-6. Strom leaves runners on first and second to win the baseball game and earn the save. Good victory for the Phillies, man. Really good victory. A game that I didn't think they were going to win personally, like down the stretch. Obviously, we had them initially. Bryce Harper is still batting .236. That's concerning. It's not concerning because he's going to turn it around. So actually, for as bad as that is, and Bryce should be better, the way that the rest of this Phillies lineup has kind of turned it around since the beginning of the year, I'm looking at Bryson Stott, who's been excellent. I'm looking at Trey Turner, who's now batting .310 quietly. Schwarber's been great. Castellanos has actually been pretty good this year. And all of those guys have better averages than Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper's batting .236. I know that's bad for right now, but that guy's not going to finish the year batting .236. He will be up in at least the 270s, probably the 280s, even maybe the 290s and the 300s. So that's a scary proposition that, okay, the Phillies are going to be much better down the stretch, and they're just kind of heating up right now. Anyways, this specific game, I do like them to beat the Cleveland Guardians because Gavin Williams is pitching for Cleveland. That's a pitcher that's going to give up hits. He's going to give up runs. And I know, Aaron Nola's pitching, so expect a million runs scored today. But, the Guardians have been in their fair share of shootouts recently against the Washington Nationals. That feels like that's every game the Nats play right now. But expect another shootout today between Nola and Williams. My thing with this, though, is Aaron Nola's been so much better in his last 2 starts. Against the Cubs, right, Sunday Night Baseball, we kind of thought he was going to get shelled. Goes in there to Wrigley Field, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. Against the Diamondbacks, 6 innings, 4 hits, 0 runs allowed. 8 strikeouts in that appearance as well for Nola. He's been much better recently for the Phillies, and I think he's head and shoulders obviously better than Gavin Williams. Sure, his numbers might be the same as Williams's right now, but Gavin Williams not going to go deep into a game, going to give up hits, going to give up the long ball. He has given up home runs in each of his last 4 starts. I think we're fine here with Philadelphia, and this is a team that's going to take advantage of a pitcher that can't keep the ball in the yard, right? Stott hit a home run yesterday. Trey Turner missed a home run by this much. The Phillies announcers went crazy because they thought he hit one to the moon, and it stayed in the park. Bryce Harper, we know the power he has, right? Schwarber, Castellanos. Yeah, I think the Phillies are fine in this spot, minus 130. I think, again, this comes down to the pitching matchup for me personally, and I value Nola a lot more than I do Gavin Williams personally. And I know the Guardians, put together a bunch of hits against the Washington Nationals in that series. The thing about that is, though, good for you, and, that's what you should do to the Washington Nationals bullpen. It's atrocious. So, again, I'm not hating on the Guardians at all. I just think the Phillies are, I'll say it, they're better than the Nationals, and they're going to win this game. I'll probably win the series, too, but we only care about this game right now. Give me Aaron Nola to come through for the Phils tonight, and expect the bats to heat up as well, or continue to heat up against Gavin Williams and the Cleveland Guardians. So give me Philly minus 130 on the road over at Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. Our final best bet of the video, we go to our next money line play. Let's go to Anaheim, California, as the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim host the Baltimore Orioles. I will actually be attending this game tonight, and I'm going with the home team. I'm going with the Los Angeles Angels to beat the Baltimore Orioles. I think it's a decent spot. Okay, guys, the Orioles continue to lose. They're 10 games under 500. Right now, they're not going to finish as one of the worst teams in baseball, but right now they are playing like one of the worst teams in baseball. They can't find ways to get on base, they can't get hits, and their pitching sucks. That's usually not a good formula for success, right? We had Gunnar Henderson yesterday. He went 1 for 4. We had him on the over total bases. He had 1, so thanks, pal. That's why, you're the second best shortstop in, the Maryland, DC, Virginia area. Kidding. In the DC metropolitan area. But anyways, CJ actually, honestly, this year CJ's been better than Gunnar. I'm just going to be honest. The Orioles have lost 5 in a row. They win that first game against the Royals last Friday. That's their last win a week ago. They win it 3-0. Dean Kramer has his best start of the year. But then since then, they get shut out the day after by Chris Bubich, who shut us down yesterday with the White Sox. It's okay. Shout out to Cupertino, California. Sunday, the Orioles get dominated, kind of. Close game, but there was, 9 solo home runs. The Royals set their franchise record for most home runs in a game, and they win on Sunday. And then they get swept by the Minnesota Twins to the Orioles. That's sorry, man. I'm just going to be honest. Nothing against the Twins. The Twins have a better record than the Nationals now. Seriously? Are you kidding? This team's so bad. Really? I mean, that's the Orioles' fault. But, damn. We have a worse record than the Twins? But that just goes to show how bad the O's are. They got swept by the Twins. They gave up 9 runs to the Minnesota Twins on Tuesday. Wednesday, they scored 2 runs. Thursday, they scored 2 runs. This pitching staff is atrocious. They got Luis Castillo. No, not the Luis Castillo. The other Luis Castillo. Luis F. Castillo from the Seattle Mariners. That's a start. He's not scheduled to make a start yet, though, so I think they're just putting him in the pen. Okay. Arguably their best pitcher's pitching today in Tomoyuki Sugano. That's good. Pitch to contact guy. Guys, the Angels lineup's actually been pretty good recently. I've watched every Blue Jays game this series. And, they win the first 2 games. Jorge Soler's got the walk-off home run on Wednesday. Yesterday, they're up huge early. The Jays come back and win. Obviously, we had Toronto, so I was pumped about that. But what I took away from that series is that, okay, dude, the Angels' bats are actually not that bad. Their pitching leaves a lot to be desired, I'm not going to lie. And, Jose Soriano didn't have his best start, worked out of a huge jam in the first inning, and obviously gave up some runs in the third and in the 5th before he exited the game. Or actually, he was still in the game for the 5th. And Chris Bassett had a rough outing yesterday, but the Blue Jays still won. Anyways, what I took away from that series is that, okay, the Angels can't hit. They've got guys who can hurt you, right? I mean, not yesterday, but Yohan Moncada swung the bat really well on Wednesday. Kyron Paris can hurt you, right? I witnessed Tim Anderson get a hit yesterday. Zach Neto's an on-base machine. Jorge Soler, again, kind kind of a boomer bust guy, but Soler is a very solid bat. Sean Noel, who randomly tried to steal first on Wednesday. I don't know why, in the first inning, it ended the inning. But anyways, Taylor Ward's got pop, man, hit a home run in the first inning yesterday. Yes, it was the first inning home run for Taylor Ward. He's only batting 181, but like, there's potential for this team. There really is. Again, what is the potential I'm talking about? I don't know. Maybe not being a bottom 5 team in the league, right? Mike Trout, I don't know what the estimate is on him. Just be honest, guys, I'm not expecting Trout back for another month. It's just, this is kind of what happens with Mike Trout at this point. I still have a weird feeling that the Phillies might try to trade for him at the deadline. It would make sense, I'm not going to lie. As a fan, I kind of like to see it. As a Nationals fan, I'd hate to see it. But as a fan of the sport, and if the Nationals are already eliminated, like, you know what? Okay. Like, if Trout and Bryce Harper are both chasing their first ring together, I can't hate it. I really can't. But anyways, I think the Angels beat the Orioles today. The Orioles' bats are atrocious right now. They can't figure it out. And yes, Gunnar Henderson's on this team. Adley Rutschman's on this team. No one can hit the ball right now. I mean, I guess O'Hearn's your exception. They're bad hitting-wise. And Dean Kramer didn't even have a bad start yesterday. When he left that game, it was tied. But the Twins took over in the 8th inning. It was Yainer Cano he was the pitcher, yeah. When the Twins took the lead and won the game, Brooks Lee had a double, put them on top, and the Twins never looked back. The O's are 10 games under 500. I think the Angels are going to put the ball in play against Sugano tonight. I really think so. I think the Angels are the better team. The O's, again, were on the road yesterday. They were in Minnesota yesterday. Now they're in Anaheim, travel day and everything. I think they're going to be sluggish out the gates here. And Kyle Hendricks, I'm not going to try to sell you on the Angels starter tonight, but really, it doesn't take, a magician. It doesn't take Nolan Ryan to stop the Orioles' bats. It doesn't. I will say, Bailey Ober's probably better in the Big 2025 than Kyle Hendricks, but it's not like Ober's some Cy Young, right? He's tall, he's 6'9", but like, it's not like Ober is some, wizard on the mound. He's good, but I don't know. We've seen lesser pitchers dominate the Orioles this season. We have. And I think Kyle Hendricks is going to have a good start tonight. So I think Unk's going to take care of us tonight in Anaheim. Simeon Woods Richardson had a pretty decent start, all things considered, against the O's. Yeah, we're going to be fine tonight. Going to be Kyle Hendricks and the Angels to win this game, plus 130. Let's get some plus money in this one. We're going with the home team in Anaheim, and hopefully I'm there to celebrate the victory. Well, I will be there, but hopefully, I can celebrate the victory at Angel Stadium. I haven't been to that park in like 12 years. It's been a while. So, folks, thank y'all for watching our MLB Best Bets here for May 9th. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank y'all for watching. And Mamba forever.